welcome back to Careers with Miss V. Today I am joined by Sarah Alhashemi, who is currently a student at Zayed University here in the United Arab Emirates, but she's also a researcher and on that journey towards her incredible career. Welcome, Sarah. How are you today?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
I am great. I'm so excited to be here with you and learn about your journey and things that you're doing. And I know that young people across the country and the world will be really inspired by your story. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Before we get into what you're doing right now, Sarah, I'd like to take you backwards when you were a younger teenager. Do you remember walking around your secondary school and listening to teachers and parents and maybe family and friends? And what were some of the things that you were thinking about when you knew that graduation was coming closer?
I was really stressed out because I wasn't really doing well in my early school years. Actually, in high school, I wasn't really doing well at first. Um, I started doing well in towards the end of high school because I don't know, I just wasn't as involved as I would have liked to be. But now in university, I'd say I'm a high achiever. It's a kind of attempt to prove myself to me because when I was in year 10, I did my IGCC and it wasn't for me. The British curriculum was not for me. I didn't perform well. And then after that, I transferred schools and began the American curriculum. And with that, I learned like a whole different set of rules. And it was like I took my time and I was like trying to understand what I was doing. But I was doing well because I was doing it at my own pace and I was letting the material sink in. It was the best option for me, and I felt that I was capable and smart. Things changed when I found what suited me. So,
Amazing. I love that you're identifying that. How did you know that one curriculum wasn't for you and how did you have the courage to say something about it?
um, it wasn't me. It wasn't my choice actually. Because like everyone saw that I wasn't doing well. Um, the thing is with the British curriculum, it's like it moves so fast, and I couldn't keep up. And it felt like I felt so lost because everyone around me was doing so well, and I felt like something was wrong with me. And my grades weren't very good. So my parents they saw that and they were like, okay, maybe it's time for a change now. And we did it. We took a risk and we did the American curriculum, and that was the best option for me. Thankfully, I got
Fantastic.
lucky.
And your academic interests were literature, biology, and arts. What made you enjoy these subjects over any of the others?
I like reading, so novels and things like that. So literature and biology. I don't know. It was always fascinating to me, like the human body and the social sciences was interesting to me. So I think that that all these subjects, like all the subjects that I was interested in as a younger me, it's like somehow I found it that it's in what I'm doing right now. Like it's in my field of interest in psychology.
Brilliant. Tell us more about your interest. So now we're going to fast forward from that younger Sarah who was finding her way through secondary school to your current role here at the university. You're studying a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Where on the journey did you decide, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. I'm going to stay in the UAE. I'm going to study at Zayed University, and I'm going to do my Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Um, so I believe my response to this question is like really basic for a psych student. I chose this career because I wanted to have a deeper understanding of myself and others. Why am I the way I am? Why individuals behave the way they do? And you probably see like people occasionally they do unusual things, and it's just like weird. And because it's something you've never experienced before, but it's not weird. It's just that you were not used to it. So sometimes we can be very judgmental of others. Now that I'm aware of these things that influence these behaviors, I get more and more fascinated. So yeah, I chose this career for myself first because of what I went through when I was younger. What I felt. So I felt that I was lost. And it's also for others because I would like to help others who have gone through the same things that I went through and maybe worse even. But yeah, I've always enjoyed supporting others, just being there, helping them. And the movies, watching movies, psychologists in movies help me make that decision. They don't portray psychologists accurately, but they get like the gist of it. So yeah.
I love how you've tapped into several elements. And I think sometimes young people struggle with learning and discovering a future career because they think it only comes from one place of inspiration. But what you've just described to us, and what I see very often when I'm meeting with different professionals, is that inspiration comes from a variety of different angles. And you've tapped into your personal story, your personal interests, your interest in learning more about the subject, and then deciding, yeah, I want to go deeper into this. Did you have any role models growing up of professional psychologists that you were surrounded by that gave you more of an insight? Or would you say that you wanted to discover, you didn't have a role model, but that didn't become a barrier or an obstacle?
Mm-hmm. I didn't have psychologist role model, but I think that's better because I don't believe in role models. It's because we all have different journeys. We can like look up to someone and be like, okay, they did good things, they've accomplished many things, and I want to do similar things. But like I have my own journey, and it's not going to be the same as this person. So I did my own research, and that's how I made my choice. So
I love that.
I recommend for other students to plan ahead of time, research and research and research.
I love that. I love that. I think that's absolutely incredible. Okay, before we start celebrating you have incredible career highlights, but before we tap into those, tell us what it's really like to be a bachelor student and why you aspire to go into clinical psychology and not a different form of psychology.
So I thought of counseling first, but with clinical psychology, we look more into mental illnesses. And I took a course, it's actually an introduction to psychology course. And then we learned about mental illnesses, and I just found it fascinating. So I thought, okay, maybe clinical psychology is a better option. And I searched about it, and because like I'm the type of person that has to plan ahead. So I had to see, because I want to continue my education, of course, to be a clinical psychologist. I want to get my PhD, and I can't do that here in the UAE. We don't have a PhD in clinical psychology, and so I had to research and prepare, and yeah.
Going back to what you were advising young people is to plan ahead and to really do that research. Incredible. Okay, let's start celebrating. You were a speaker at Expo 2020's World Majlis, and being in the undergraduate research scholarship program at Zayed University, where you are currently supported to conduct, and I love this, research on the cultural interpretations of sleep paralysis in the UAE. Like, hello, where did such a young person come up with that type of research? And who inspired you to look at the cultural interpretations of sleep?
It's sleep paralysis. So I've had my own experience with sleep paralysis, and I was just like, "What is this weird experience? What is this? What is it?" And and it's like I saw on social media that a lot of people were talking about it too, and they're complaining about what is this thing, because like usually with sleep paralysis you feel like this dark entity or something in your room when you're trying to sleep, or you feel like something is heavy on your chest, and it's like something sitting on your chest, and it's like a weird experience and very scary too. So I wanted to learn more about that, and I have a professor. Her name is Dr. Teresa. She studies sleep. So she was like, she's an inspiration. And I chose the culture interpretations because I'm more interested in the human behavior than the human mind. So yeah, that's why I chose the culture interpretations.
Amazing. What was it like to be a speaker at Expo 2020's World Majlis?
It was an amazing experience because I got to speak with, talk to the younger students from they're students from schools, and it's like they have the new generation. It's like they have so many amazing ideas, and they're already like doing something. They already accomplished like so much, and they're at a young age. There's someone who wrote a book, is and like they started clubs, and I've seen the videos, your videos on the channel, and I've seen like students they accomplished so much at a young age. So it was just like that. Like I saw how amazing it was, and they were such nice people.
And I think looking at you right now, I see all of those things as well. When you look in the mirror, Sarah, do you see that about yourself?
Now, yes, I do.
What was that journey like for you? And I know that young people sometimes they're so filled with doubt, especially when they're planning that career journey. What was that like for you? How did you overcome the doubt and the fear? Because I think that's really important to be sharing with students around the world.
So you probably like see people, they're doing so well, they seem they're so prepared, they're put together, but we don't really know what's going on inside because they just show us what they want us to see, and we tend to compare ourselves negatively to others, and we see um, that that okay, someone else is doing better than me, and it's scary, and sometimes we get lost, but it's okay. We all go through that, and you just need to surround yourself with supportive people. Try new things, not just the things that you're interested in. Try new things and meet new people. You might find more things that you could be interested in. And
Let's talk about some of your top 3 career tips. We've already talked about the researching interests and planning ahead, reaching out, looking at YouTube to get informed about those possible careers. But you also say, don't wait for things to come to you. This is an interesting top tip for a young person. Where did you learn that that was important, and who taught you?
I saw other students like they weren't really doing anything, and then at the end like they were just studying and they were doing very well, but when they were graduating, they didn't have the experience, and like they didn't volunteer, and they didn't have work experience, and it was hard for them to find a job, and I don't want that to happen to me. because, like I said, I'm a planner and I like to plan everything and have a backup plan always. So I, I had to find, like, go search for all the volunteering experience. Whatever I see, whatever emails I get, I try it out. Even if it's scary, it's okay. We fake it till we make it. It's okay. And yeah, and and it's like I don't only look for experiences within my field of interest. No, I look outside of my field of interest. So I've done research in the College of Business, and I did. I even tutored students and mentor students in my university. I tried different things just to see what other interests that I could have. Maybe I could learn something new, and always learn something new. So yeah.
What would you say for a young person who wants to go into psychology but says, Miss V, I can't find work experience. How am I supposed to do that in psychology?
That's This is like a stigma with um, uh, psychology. It's like they people think that there are no work experiences, there are no jobs out there, or it doesn't pay well, or that's not true. There are. You can work in hospitals, you can work in HR departments. You can start with internship. That's the best way to start, because, and it's not like a waste of time. You won't get paid, but you will learn things, so you will have experience, and then they might employ you. So keep searching, make connections. That's very important. You need to make connections with people, friends, and professors. My professors have helped me so much. I got the opportunity for the Expo 2020, the word matches discussion, from a professor. She recommended me. So yeah, I make connections.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Wrapping it up, I could talk to you forever, Sarah, but I'm very conscious of your time as well. I want to talk a little, just before we wrap this up, on your emphasis for the importance of education. Why is there such an importance on education from your perspective?
Without education, how are we supposed to be? What are we going to do? Like, we're supposed to be reliant on ourselves, not on others, and we need to always grow and keep up with this world, because, like, we are developing so fast with social media. So it's like we need to keep up, and we need to learn new things. So with that, I would say education is very important, and it's okay if you took your time, if you didn't do well in the beginning. You can start whenever. I know mothers who've started university. They did their bachelor's degree. They got their bachelor's degree after they had kids. So, like, when they're, like, I don't know, 50. So it's never too late. It's okay. You can take your time. Everyone has their own journey, their own path, their own pace. It's okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being with me here today, Sarah, and sharing your experiences. I always, whenever I meet young people like you, Sarah, I always walk away from the conversation saying, the future is bright because there are young people just like Sarah. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Thank you for being here, and thank you for inspiring the youth. And I know that they'll walk away listening to something you said today and feeling more confident that they're on that right journey themselves. So thank you for being with me.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for having me.
And that brings us to the end of another incredible conversation. Today, I was speaking with Sarah Alhashemi, who is a student at Zayed University here in the United Arab Emirates. We were talking about her aspirations of clinical psychology, her work in research, and her incredible insights into building her future career aspirations, filled in a world where she can be aspiring and inspiring young people just like you. I will see you all at my next Let's Talk Careers with Miss V.